This video will show you how to calculate the phosphorus management tool within NuMan Pro 4.2. First, confirm that you have entered all the necessary information on the Farmer and Consultant tab, as well as the Field, Soil, Scenario, and History tabs. If a field's fertility index value for phosphorus is greater than 150, you will see a warning on the Soil tab for that field indicating that a PMT calculation may be required. Make sure you have clicked Use Lab DPS if your soil test reports either the degree of phosphorus saturation or the aluminum and iron values. If this information is not available, advise the farmer to ask for this information in the next soil test and click Use Estimated DPS. To switch to the PMT view of the software, click the three pink interlocking circles icon on the toolbar. On the bottom of the Field tab, you will see two options for entering Russell erosion calculations. All University of Maryland Extension advisors must use the second or external option to input a Russell A value or soil erosion estimate from a soil conservation plan or Russell II output. Russell II includes updated information on components such as conservation tillage implements and therefore produces more accurate soil erosion estimates for most farming situations. With the second Russell option selected, you will not have access to the tabs for calculating individual Russell factors, and instead will be directed to the particulate tab. On the three remaining tabs, you only have to enter information into the fields with white backgrounds. Fields with yellow backgrounds are populated using information you have entered on previous tabs, and fields with blue backgrounds are calculated within the program based on user inputs. Enter the Russell A value or soil erosion estimate. Next, indicate the appropriate values for distance to surface water and width of vegetative buffer. The particulate P transport risk box should populate. If it does not, and the box is filled with asterisks, go back and check your work to make sure all necessary information has been entered. Move on to the Runoff tab. Enter the field slope and indicate whether the field is concave by clicking the button below it. The recommended fertilizer or manure phosphorus that was generated by NuMan 4.2 is already present in the yellow fields above the table. If starter fertilizer will be used, enter it in the starter fertilizer box. Note that starter fertilizer is only allowed for certain crops, including corn grain, corn silage, and some fruits and vegetables. You can enter information for split applications by editing the boxes along the shaded bar at the top of the table. Manually enter the amount that will be put down in a first application, and the remaining amount will be shifted to the second application column. This can be done again to the second application total to shift any remaining amount to the third application column. For each application, indicate the method of incorporation from the descriptions in the table and check the appropriate box in the corresponding application column. At this point, the P transport risk via runoff should be displayed at the bottom of the screen. If no value appears, go back to previous screens and make sure you have entered all the necessary information. Move on to the Subsurface tab. Click on the button under Artificial Drainage to indicate whether the field is drained artificially by ditches or tile drains. Choose the fertilizer or organic P incorporation category that matches the farm practice. Note that these categories are not the same as the options on the Runoff tab. With this information entered, your subsurface P loss risk should populate, as should the overall P loss rating for the field and an explanation of the corresponding low, medium, or high category. Note that this rating is based on the information that has been entered into the program, so if a manure application rate or other practice changes, you must rerun the PMT to determine the score under the new management plans. In this scenario, the field received a high-risk rating, meaning that no further phosphorus can be applied. Therefore, the planned scenario of applying 2 tons per acre of poultry litter is not allowed. If you have multiple fields that require a PMT, you can navigate from one to the other and enter necessary information the same way you navigate through fields in NuMan Pro. Just use the arrows at the top of the screen. To return to the planning view in NuMan Pro, click on the beaker icon on the toolbar. To print PMT output, choose File Print, or select the print icon. Choose the fields for which a PMT is required and move them to the target list. Then choose PMT and hit Print. You can print from either the PMT view or the planning view of the software. This brings us to the end of this video on how to calculate the PMT in NuMan 4.2.